Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, we are going to talk a little bit about what happens when a dismissive avoidant completely shuts off after looking into attachment theory. So, this is basically one of the questions I have from inside of our members lounge, and we're going to talk about the root causes of why this happens in the video and what you can actually do about it if you find yourself in this situation. This may be with a friendship, this may be with a family relationship, or a loved one in some kind of romantic type of dynamic. So before I dive in, please know this is like one thing we're doing that we probably won't do again for a very, very long time, if ever. So please take advantage right now. We are launching a 7-day free trial. It is on right now when you're seeing this video. And this gives you a free access to like all of the courses inside the school. It's for the all access membership pass. There's a link in the description box below, and you get access to try out and check out all the different courses, the live weekly webinars, the study groups and group socials we have on there with our community. And this runs from April 21st to May 5th. It'll close and that will be it after. So please make sure you take advantage now if you want to check it out. We're very excited about the process. So check that out. This is for everybody on here who's reached out to customer service through Info at Personal Development School. And we've had like hundreds over the last months, maybe thousands of people say, can we have a free trial? Can we see how it goes? Can we take a look? So I convinced my team to do this, and I'm very excited about it. So please give yourself the opportunity to check it out. You'll get access to all the courses, the workbooks, everything. You can see where you want to get started and see what the inside of the school really is like. So let's go into talking about this video. So a lot of people, when they learn about attachment styles for the first time, they get very excited to share, right? Like I'm personally like this. If I learn about something interesting, I want to share it with everybody I know and love, and I want them to all be benefited by it. And it's a lot of our natural impulse, right? Especially when we start gaining value from things. We're like, oh, this is helping me put the pieces together. This is helping me like figure things out. This is making so much sense. And the natural next step is to go, okay, like now I want to share this with my loved ones because this could even create like a reparation in the relationship, which can be a very valuable thing. However, we have to realize that we all have a different operating system that we're sort of coming from, right? We all have a different lens we see and interact with the world through. We all have a different set of subconscious programs. And so, what often takes place is when we go to share something with somebody we love or care for, if they are a dismissive avoidant, and because it's so about them, it tends to trigger specific core wounds in their programming. Okay, core wound number one is I am defective. Because what they're hearing, right, is not the part about how our attachment style is just the subconscious set of rules we know how to relate by. We all have a different set of rules based on our programming and our upbringing, and that you can change it, and that we have neuroplasticity and all this stuff is changeable. Instead, the dismissive avoidant hears, oh my goodness, at my core, I am defective. And this is because we all interact with the world through like our lens of past experiences, because all of those past experiences have basically created imprints on the subconscious mind. And then those imprints become the filter or the lens we see the world through. Our subconscious mind is the lens that we see the world through. So think of it as like you see the world through your stored past experiences being sort of like overlaid onto our objective reality. And so what takes place is if we have core wounds that are unresolved, we're often going to give that kind of meaning to situations. So somebody who has a core wound of I'm not good enough may hear about attachment styles and be like, oh, I'm not good enough. Somebody who has a core wound that says I am defective may give that to the situation. Somebody who maybe has a lot of programming around valuing personal growth may be like, oh my gosh, now I understand and I can do something about it. They may feel very empowered by that, but it's all going to depend on what's driving your behavior based on your personal needs and also based on your programs and how that creates the lens you see the world through. So, the dismissive avoidant, they tend to have the I am defective core wound. And also, they usually feel unsafe when they feel too seen, too understood. They feel like it's a very vulnerable position to be in relationship dynamics. So, what you'll often see as well is like if they feel like suddenly you understand them differently, you see them deeply, that can make them feel very vulnerable. And as a coping mechanism to avoid that vulnerability with with which their subconscious mind associates as being very unsafe, like when I'm vulnerable, I'm very unsafe, because usually those were their childhood experiences of feeling that way. And what happens is, to avoid feeling unsafe, they'll try to avoid being vulnerable in other forms. So they feel like, oh my gosh, you see me too much, you understand me too much, you see I am defective, these sorts of things. They usually will sort of move back towards you, with many more walls up is a very common thing that can take place. Okay. So, what do we do about this if we've already shared this with somebody and it didn't go well, or if we want to share with somebody in the future? Well, number one, you want to share with a dismissive avoidant, ideally, if you're going to do it in the future, you want to share with a dismissive avoidant that says, hey, look at this. I'm learning about this. This is what I notice about myself. This is what I am. Here, what do you think you are? And then what that takes away is, it takes from the dismissive avoidant, it takes away the feeling that we're going, you are this, you are defective, even though that's never our intention. And I know nobody wanting to share that is coming from that place. They're usually coming from like, I want to share this. This might help you. This might benefit you. The person doesn't we all personalize things based on our own wounds, right? So the person doesn't necessarily see it objectively. We tend to see things subjectively. So with that being said, you can ideally share, but not by saying this is what you are, but by saying this is what I am. What do you think? And leaving it open for them to decide how vulnerable they want to be. Okay. And the more you make it like not as big of a deal, the better, where you're not like, oh, this is everything. This tells us all about our patterns of behavior. The more you can make it like a sort of normal thing. Oh, this is interesting. I think I found this out. I think there's some interesting patterns in here. Of course, I don't think everybody fits into the exact same mold. I just think there are a lot of patterns that can be similar, and reasons that can be similar. And it is important to recognize that, like, we're not all just like cookie cutter, like cut and dry. This is exactly what we are. Although, as you probably see, there tend to be a lot of very similar core wounds and patterns and needs and expectations that are specific to each attachment style. One other pointer as well is that you can also, when you're sharing, you can say to somebody, hey, I know that these things are changeable. These are just a subconscious set of patterns, a subconscious set of rules we've learned to most safely and effectively navigate our environments according to our past experiences. And I want you guys to know this. This is the truth. Like, just because you are a specific attachment style doesn't mean that's the way you are going to be forever, especially when you have tools to do reprogramming work, or especially when you have in-depth tools and instructions for emotional literacy, understanding your needs, learning to create boundaries for yourself when needed, learning to communicate in a healthy manner, and so on. So that's really important if you're going to introduce to somebody in the future. Now, if you found that you introduced something to somebody in the future or in the past and it didn't go well, don't be afraid to circle back and just of your own accord share with the person, hey, I really learned about that stuff. I thought it was interesting. I know that it's not one size fits all. I know it's not completely all or nothing. I just found that these are patterns, but we can change these patterns. This isn't who we are, and none of this makes us bad or wrong. This isn't who we are as our character at our core. These are just the subconscious programs and patterns we have that we often use to rely on when relating to other people. And the more you can sort of like differentiate, so what you're trying to do essentially is equilibrate any of the damage of the core wound being activated, which really isn't something that anybody did by sharing. It's really something that exists within a person that you may have been a catalyst for. And so that's not your fault, right? It's actually the other person's responsibility. But when we can just go about and share and say, look, like, this isn't like, the flaws of this do not make you a flawed person. This just means that you may have behaviors or things that you do at times to protect yourself that could be upgraded, that could be better. We all have those things. And again, the more you normalize it, the more you show that you show that person that they are sufficient, they are enough, they are good as they are, and that we all have places we can still improve. It doesn't make us lesser than, it makes us human. The more we can sort of have the conversation in that empathetic, open, transparent way, the better it's going to go, and the less somebody will have to feel the need to shut off as a subconscious strategy to protect themselves if they're associating that their attachment style makes them defective or unsafe or any of those things we discussed. So hopefully that makes so much sense. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you watch all the time. I so appreciate it. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in the video tomorrow.